According to investor and best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, this looming recession will change a generation. And it's hard not to see that when you look at the facts. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the annual inflation rate in the U.S. was at 8.5% in July of 2022, from the 40-year record high of 9.1% back in June. Real gross domestic product, or GDP for short, decreased at an annual rate of 1.6% in the first quarter of 2022, only for the economy to suffer another contraction as a decrease of 0.6% followed in the second quarter. This consecutive decrease in the GDP is what brings experts to the scary conclusion that the economy of the United States is in a recession. NASDAQ and S&P 500 have been bleeding out to the tune of trillions of dollars, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ compositing reporting its worst quarterly performance since 2008. S&P 500 has broken an unwanted record as it struggles to stay afloat amidst the surging inflation, the Federal Reserve rate hikes, the Russia-Ukraine war, and COVID lockdowns in China, posting its worst half of the year in over 50 years. 10 of the top biggest losers include Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, and Netflix. These companies have lost $4.2 trillion of investors' money in the first half of 2022. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki indicates that a more severe problem that has gone largely unnoticed is the bond market upset. As economic data begins to give more serious reasons for concern over slowing economic growth, government bond prices have steadily been on the rise. This is terrible news since investors generally view government bonds as a sacred refuge in times of economic crisis. In July, Kiyosaki tweeted, "Bond market 40 times larger than stock market. Please pay attention to bonds, not stocks. Major crash to come. Take care." He also gives direction to investors looking for where to invest, and on the list of his top recommendations are precious metals like gold and silver. But recently, he has become a proponent of Bitcoin. "I am buying more gold, silver now, and waiting for Bitcoin to go lower." Gold has been the reserve currency of the world for centuries, and unlike fiat, it cannot be devalued by overprinting since it's a precious metal. And in fact, he places gold at the top of his sacred list of 5 Gs. In an interview with Dave Rubin on the Rubin Report, Robert Kiyosaki reveals that he just took a Utah-based gold mining company public last week. He is a 4th-generation Japanese-American that was born and raised in Hilo, Hawaii. He is the son of a teacher and tutor, Ralph H. Kiyosaki. After Kiyosaki graduated from Hilo High School, he attended the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in New York, after which he served in the Marine Corps as a helicopter gunship pilot during the Vietnam War in 1972, where he was awarded the Air Medal. Kiyosaki left the Marine Corps in 1974 and went on to sell copy machines for the Xerox Corporation, working as a salesperson from 1974 until June 1978. But by 1977, Kiyosaki had already entered the retailing industry. He started a company that brought to market the first nylon and Velcro surfer wallets. The company enjoyed a moderate degree of success in its time. However, short-lived it was since the company eventually went bankrupt and did not intellectually protect the product. In the early 1980s, it was another kind of hustle for Kiyosaki. He started a business that licensed t-shirts for heavy metal rock bands such as Motley Crue. The company also went bankrupt in 1985. So we see a man that had earned his stripes the hard way. Kiyosaki is a man who dedicated his life to the fight for freedom, especially economic freedom. In his book, You Can Choose to Be Rich, Kiyosaki said that after his bankruptcy, he became homeless and was living with his then-girlfriend Kim at the back of an old Toyota for several months before starting their own business from the ground up. After learning the hard lessons of life, he made a good number of successful real estate investments, so Kiyosaki was finally able to retire at the age of 47. In 1997, he came out of retirement and launched Cashflow Technologies Incorporated, a business and financial education company that owns and operates the Rich Dad and Cashflow brands. Robert Kiyosaki continues to operate external business ventures and various investments aside from the Rich Dad Company and Cashflow Technologies. The Utah-based gold mine is not the first that Kiyosaki had ever purchased. He owned a silver mine in South America in 2002 and took a gold mining company in China public in that same year. He also took public additional mines from the initial public offerings listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange in the early 2000s. In his book Conspiracy of the Rich, published in 2009, Kiyosaki revealed that he is tightly involved with a copper mine that is to be taken public once copper prices begin to rise in value. He has always been a strong advocate for precious metals. In fact, in July of 2005, Kiyosaki stated in a Yahoo Finance article that, if you only have a few dollars, you may want to go to your local coin dealer and buy silver and gold coins as close to the price of gold or silver as possible. I would not invest in collectible precious metal coins unless you really know a good collectible coin from a bad one. For as little as $20, you can buy a few precious metal coins and begin to take steps to prepare for one of the biggest crashes in world history. Every opportunity he is given, Kiyosaki never fails to mention that he is a gold bug. This means he holds many commodities like gold and silver as a hedge against the misprinting of the dollar as fiat currency by the US government. He claims he made this move in the early 1970s when President Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. More recently, on the 27th of August, he tweeted, "It's not what's in your wallet, it's what's in your head." All markets crashing. Real estate, stocks, gold, silver, Bitcoin, middle class wiped out by higher oil inflation. Yet rich are getting richer. Difference in head, not wallet. Change what's in your head first, then get richer. In the same tone, he tweeted this 2 days later. 2008 was a great time to be rich. Everything went on sale. Burrowed millions of dollars buying real estate bargains. 2013, I published Rich Dad's Prophecy predicting bigger crash coming. That crash is here. Millions will be wiped out. Please do not be one of them. Time you get richer. On Friday, the 26th of August, 2022, the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, gave a speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium that triggered the latest sell-off we now observe in the marketplace. He signaled in his speech that the rates could remain higher for quite a while. Powell also warned that there would be some pain to households and businesses, and he adds that these are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. In response to Powell's comments, equities plunged on Tuesday for the third day in a row. Meanwhile, Bitcoin dropped below $20,000, and gold fell, trading near $1,730 an ounce. According to Robert Kiyosaki, the best time to get rich is when asset prices slump like this. When crypto began the steep dive back in May, he described the crash as great news and said, "Crashes are the best time to get rich. Where many see misery, some see an opportunity to turn their fortunes around." You might wonder, what does Kiyosaki mean when he calls a market crash great news? The author and financial philosopher are known for his calls to stockpile assets when they are undervalued. In mid-June, Kiyosaki also gave some kind of investment advice on how to survive this highly inflationary environment that might strike some people as weird. He advises people to stock up on cans of tuna. At first glance, it seems weird, but after giving it a thought, you would realize that although many insist on using the term food insecurity, a shortage of basic necessities could lead to chronic scarcity of food. But with cans of tuna and baked beans, they can be consumed directly from the containers and will therefore come in handy when push comes to shove. Kiyosaki has also openly stated on more than one occasion that he does not buy stocks. According to him, stocks or mutual funds go up or down based on volatility. If you would like to have a stable, slow movement and not those big investments in a stock, you could argue it is a low risk. But if you can look at the movements and identify a pattern, is the risk still equally high if you buy at the bottom of a pattern compared to if you buy at the top? Is it more risk to buy small companies compared to big? Or if the movement of that company is so slow that you barely keep up with inflation, isn't that a risk of missing out profits? Even more surprising is the fact that he confidently believes that cryptocurrency is very soon going to replace the US dollar, or the fake money from the market. Investors all over the world were dumbfounded to find out that he was in favor of cryptocurrency when he released the statement. When an asset appears to be in a bubble, it's essential to know your fundamentals. Everyone is talking about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. And why not? With massive fluctuations in value and short-term gains in the 1,000% range, it's very exciting and enticing stuff. And it's also potentially dangerous stuff if you don't know what you're doing. How are you planning to safeguard your earnings in the present economic climate?